You spoke specifically, though, about trying to collectively build your money with other organizations, other black-owned organizations, and he kind of soured that shit.
Yeah, I don't want to put everybody's business out there, but we did have something that was going on. And
it was something tangible.
It was something that we could do as black people. Like, I always try to put us together and get money for what we could do. Like, I don't believe we need to go outside the culture because we're so powerful.
Right.
We don't need to raise money. We have enough if we put it together and just do it ourselves. And because of the internet, there's no reason to stick together. So, and also, even if you don't make money, I just think for the culture publicly, we should just show each other sticking together, because that's the problem with the culture. We just don't stick together because we're so afraid that someone's going to get that slot. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It just happens.
Do you think it's worse now than a few years ago, or you think it's better?
I think it's better, man. I'm having a good time.
But how so? Like, how?
Because people like Cam, like that I've known for 25 years.
Right.
That never sold out. Like, now you get to see who's really about it.
Right.
You could see who your friends were. You could see who was just there for the money. You could see who has any kind of backbone. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a lot more transparency in the
game. I think the problem with people is because they're so insecure. When I'm direct, they overreact to things because they're trying to make a smokescreen for what they're insecure about.
Right.
And then I'm like, yo, I just asked you a question. Why are you so mad? But then also when you yell at me, I'm not about that, because I come from a place where you have to show people, like, if you show any weakness, then you can't be outside when you're in a certain business. So somebody flipping on me, I got to take care of that, because, that's just instinctually how I have to keep a certain amount of respect. But also I'm 25 years old. Like, God damn, my brain's not developed. What the fuck y'all want me to be? Super duper genius? Right.
You mentioned a lot of people on Instagram, particularly during your days at Def Jam. But one of the questions that I have to ask you, because this person has always spoken highly of you, is what role did Russell play in all the hijinks that was going on?
He was already sold the company. He
right.
was the face. But he didn't play no role. Like, I never liked the way Lyor carried Russell either. Like, I didn't like the fact when Lyor did, because that's all Lyor did was take Russell's brand and monetize it. That's all he did. I think he could have did that himself.
Right.
And then when the company was sold, he stayed on to run shit. So when he became chairman, I just thought, and even when he was running after they sold Def Jam, I just thought that they should have set Russell up better. I just didn't like the way they treated him. I didn't like the fact that he had to ask. I didn't think he should have had to. I just thought it was very humbling. And Russell's such a gentleman about it. Like, I'd always step to him. Like, I would step to Lyor. I have stepped to Lyor. Like, yo, I don't like the way you carry me.
On behalf of Russell.
Right. And I'll do it in front of Russell, and they get all uncomfortable. And I'll be like, yo,
What would Russell tell you, man?
He'd be like, don't worry about that shit, man. But he has a different way of doing things.
Right.
And I respect his life a lot. And I expect his approach, because when he speaks, it's always positive when it comes to the culture. I wish we could work together a little more, but we never worked together.
Right.
But he's also like, Russell was the person that I wanted to be always, because I liked his life. And again, it's not for me to speak for another dude, but he's my OG. You understand? You asked me, so I'm telling you. But I'm give Russell full respect. That's my OG, and you have to respect Russell. He's cool, man. For his everything he did, he definitely paved the way.
Everything he's still doing.
He paved the way for me to do it a little better. See, I'm telling you the backstory with the currency situation. Right. So also, I had a gallery in Tribeca called DD172. It was like 10,000
Shit was
square
beautiful.
feet.
Shit was beautiful.
Yeah, that shit. The overhead for that with the staff was $100,000 a month, and it was all going into monetizing and making content and moving currency around and all these different things. So I would only hand in a record. The deal I had, L.A. Reid did a sweet deal for me. He made it where I could just give him the record, and he would advance me $100,000. And they would get their money right back.
Right.
So it was basically I would hand in the money as an advance against what it should sell. You understand what I mean?
Right.
But they're collecting their money right back. It's not like usually you invest in an artist, you don't get your money back for years.
Right.
And again, they weren't investing. I was getting an advance against, they were going to distribute it for me. You understand what I mean? And you use that for working capital.
Right.
That's what you do. That's business. And I was always very transparent with Currency. He always knew everything. We were always partners. He always knew everything. So we put the records out. When the money would come, I didn't put it in my pocket. It went into paying the bills and the overhead.
Right.
Right.
So nobody got paid.
No. People got paid that worked.
Right.
So if somebody made a video for Currency, they got paid.
Right.
If we made a record,
the overhead, all the overhead got paid.
Right. But again, I don't expect people to understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, again, it was $100,000 broke. But this is when I'm dead broke, by the way. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody's saying I'm cracked. But he started to get hot. We paused the record out, and it sold. The first record sold 60,000 records. That's independently, just distributed by Def Jam. I snuck the Rockefeller logo on it. Live music was great. And then I had sponsorship from Adidas, so I was moving them around with the live band and tour buses, and there was a lot of content. And it was fly. It was great. And I went to China, and I came back, and he just disappeared. And the next thing you know, I heard he had a record deal. I was like, wow. I was like, and I always told him, you got to get a record deal. But being that you're in power and you're making money from shows,
right.
Like, talk to me. I'll advise you on it. You could have that sacrificial lamb, but just make sure you could do whatever you want to do. I don't mind if you take a deal. I don't even care. You know, this is not how I make money. So, again, all of a sudden, he disappeared. And then I had a tour set up for him, sponsored by Adidas. The tour bus, paid the whole nine, you know. And
a paying tour for him. He was going to make.
He's going to make money. Plus, he was going to cover all these costs, you know, because Adidas was sponsored. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, they just stopped calling. And now everyone had set up stuff, and you know what I mean. So now we looking crazy on the road. He disappears. And I also had another record scheduled to come out with him called Muscle Car Chronicles.
Right.
And he knew we were putting it out in the whole nine. And again, he disappeared. Fuck the tour, all that. But all right. So the record came out, or rather, it was about to come out, and his lawyer sent a cease and desist to Def Jam. So Def Jam being corporate was like, well, we can't put the record out. So now he's messing my deal up at Def Jam. And I don't know why he's doing this. I'm like, what is going on? Nobody called me. None of that. You know? And you know, come to find out. Oh, so because of the cease and desist, I was like, I'm putting the record out. I don't know why he did that. I'm calling Currency like, what happened? I don't know.
He's playing like he doesn't know what's going on.
I guess playing, whatever, you know. And I was like, all right, well, you know, we would text, but then he stopped texting back. Like, I'm a Herb, all these kind of things. And
I remember at the time you had set him up in an apartment. Like, you really
But
brought him to New York and made him comfortable in New York.
Yeah, but he's a cool dude. It was out of friendship. Like, to this day, like, again, it was that divide and conquer thing. I'm going to finish the story, but I ain't got no beef with Currency. It was all friendship. Big shout out to him. I hope he's loving his life. I just don't like the way things were handled. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to let another culture separate me and him. But at the end of the day, this is what happened. So I put out, because they stopped it there, and then I wasn't getting really any answers, and all of a sudden his lawyers being obnoxious, they carrying me a different way. So I put it out independently myself. So they tried to send a cease and desist to like iTunes and whatever. And first iTunes put it down, but like, you better put that shit back up.
Right.
You know, I got paper, you know, not even paperwork. Like Todd Moscowitz.
Yeah.
And he's another dude I'm very disappointed in. You know what I'm saying? He's another one of, you know, he's Lyor's son. I'm going to start getting at him as well. Todd, he's a lawyer that, you know, Lyor gave a job to. You know Todd, he's a clown. But no disrespect, but he's a clown.
No disrespect.
I just don't like how he plays, man. All those guys, they just play too dirty. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why I'm getting at him like this. Where was we at with this story?
iTunes.
So iTunes takes it down, put that shit back. They put it back up. So now they go in front of a judge to try to get us to put it down. But, you know, my lawyers, and also at the time I got lawyers on payroll. I got so many lawsuits. The lawyers went to court. We went to court, and we were like, "Yo, it could sell. It's not going to hurt it's not going to hurt the
case,
the record if it sells." So they made it stay. So now I'm like, "See, y'all playing. I have the right to put this out." And what they were claiming was I didn't have the right to put it out. So
you had paperwork with Currency, right?
It wasn't paperwork. You don't have to have paperwork. You know what I'm saying? If you do something and it goes and there's an action and it's recognized, that's it. You don't have to, but we did have verbals and talk. We never got to get the paperwork done.
It was a handshake partnership.
Yeah, basically. Right. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. So anyway, so come to find out, when we get to court, what had happened was that he had signed an exclusive deal with Warner, which violated his deal, his agreement with them, and he had indemnified them. So what it meant was if anyone else put out a record, Warner could sue him.
Right.
So his lawyers had to sue me. You understand what I'm saying?
Him, to keep him
just
out of...
because they got to be like...
So you became the bad guy.
When you say, you know what indemnified?
Yeah,
you're
of course.
Lawyer. So that means that they were going to cover Warner's legal fees.
Right.
But, you know, he doesn't know that probably. So now I put the record out. They all try to do that so they don't get sued. But when we get to a deposition, you know, everything comes out because Currency's not a liar.
Right.
And that's why I had to give him that much props. Because when he got there, he was like, nah, I mean, I got a record deal. You know, I don't know what they talk about. And I was like, but, you know, Currency, you know, you got to... Again, I don't want to talk his business.
Right.
But the deal he had didn't reflect what we were talking about. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I was like, y'all got to pay me because you just... And I hit them with all lawsuits. So I hit Joey with a lawsuit. I hit his lawyer, his manager. What was his lawyer's name?
Nova Perry.
Yeah, Nova Perry.
It's funny because she heard you was going to be on the show today.
Yeah.
And she hit me. And she was like, you made money. You made like $1 million.
Yeah, okay.
And never paid Currency.
Listen, The bottom line is the money never got counted.
Right.
Because I wasn't set up for all of that. So I didn't take nothing. And he didn't take nothing. He could get it counted. I could get it counted. The deal we had was it's a partnership. It's equal. I'm not the man. I'm not the guy. You can get an accountant to do all those things. But right now I'm dealing with other stuff. I was doing this for fun.
And there's expenses.
Plus, let me ask you a question.
There's expenses that you got to pay.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When has an artist, and you're a lawyer, put out a record and got a royalty within a year?
Not at all.
So why are they stressing me about that? Like, well, it sounds like you'll count it yourself. Like, why? But the reason why was because Joey went, offered him a bag of money, knowing that the Currency had a deal with me. He knew that, which is called torturous interference. Is that not your lawyer?
Contractual interference, yeah.
It's torturous interference when you interfere with someone's relationship and their ability to work with their partner. That's torturous interference. So Joey knew that I had a deal with him. He saw all the stuff that was going on, but he still offered him $1 million or whatever it was anyway. And this is a young kid, you know, and then put a battery in his back and was telling him that I was robbing him.
Was Currency believing him?
I mean, obviously I got a lawsuit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is how they're justifying it.
Right.
But really what happened is the lawyers made him take a deal because the deal we had was back end. So, you know, you're a lawyer. You can't commission a deal on a back end money. It's only when money's so they had to get him a deal up front so they could get money from it. Right. It's an easy trick. And then they had him go through this lawsuit. By the time we got to a deposition, he was already $50,000 in legal fees and nothing happened. So now, and she got him a lawyer. Nova Ferry got him a real estate lawyer.
So represent him in this case?
Yes, I'm talking like, yo, they rookies, man. Like, they taking you, man. They just going to charge you dough. Because at the end of the day, it's the lawyers that always get the money. You know what I'm saying? They make you go to court so they can get paid. Even if you lose, your lawyer still gets paid.
Right.
If you win and it's only $5, but it's $100,000 in legal, you still got to pay that legal. Right. No matter what, a lawyer gets paid. So that's why I don't trust lawyers. And I told Currency off top, don't let lawyers deal with this. Always let's talk in front of the lawyers. But he didn't, you know, and again, I don't blame him because
he's new to the game.
And he's creative.
Right.
So he's not supposed to be good at business. It's crazy how people have all these expectations of artists being 25 and being able to save money. But he ruined that kid's career because I was protecting him.
Right.
I feel bad for Currency because he was getting ready. He has a great brand. And you know, he doesn't have to depend on radio. He could be independent. That's why I was like, why the fuck you take a record deal?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was going to take him without compromise to a place where pop culture could appreciate him. You know what I mean? That's what we do.
Right.
Like me, Cam, like we don't have to bend over to get there. It just takes a little longer.
Pause.
We don't have to, is what I said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, listen, let's go to a quick station break. This is the Combat Jack Show, the CombatJackShow.com.
Cheer.
Got Damon Dash in the building. Yeah. F your radio, F your podcast, F your TV show.
You know, your barber, he gets close to you because he cuts your hair. In your house, you trust him. He sees everything. You know, he becomes your friend. And, you know, he saw the whole thing from my perspective. So you know, I've always appreciated his struggle as an independent, and some things have happened that have been defining in his life, and I'll let him explain that. But I respect him, and he's an entrepreneur. But also, he'd also hear all the bullshit in the barbershop. So he started to tape me, you know what I'm saying? So he taped me this day when I was in my crib in Malibu. And, you know, I was like, you know, you need to make some, chop it up and put it out. Start bringing attention to your brand, because he taped a lot of other people that he cuts. Right. And the other people that he cuts respect him because they're kind of like-minded. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to, of course, because he's an entrepreneur, give it to him.
Right.
He has certain clients that won't give it to him. He can't even ask. But those are the guys that don't think those are the guys that are getting paid by corporate.
Of course.
They don't like to help too much.
Right.
You know, that's the thing, too. Like, if you're going to get paid by corporate, share with your brothers. It's like if you're going to be the warden in the jail and your whole crew's in the jail, you got to let them do what they want to do.
Right, of course.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't know why people don't share. But anyway, so he made the tape, and then he put it out. You know, and again, he has a book and he has a movie, you know, these other things. So he caught me. And again, like if somebody asks me questions, I'm going to answer. Like, I'm not politically correct. I don't sell my celebrity, so I don't have to worry about what people are thinking. You know, I sell product for a price. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the street, this is what I learned. You know, I see drug dealers smacking, you know, they're not very nice to the drug addicts. The drug addicts still stay online as long as the work is good.
Right.
So when that's your model, have good work, you don't have to be nice. You don't have to worry about things, because I'm not asking nobody to give me nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So I've always appreciated, so he did the tape, and I was teaching him how to, you know, and he put it up. And
you didn't anticipate the buzz was going to be this crazy?
The thing is, I knew it was. I didn't care.
Right.
You know, it was for him. You know, if somebody talks to me, I'm not going to be politically correct. It's phony.
Right.
So when people buy experience, if you're an artist, it's about being authentic. Once you start to do things in a formula, it's not the truth anymore. You know, artists not supposed to be a lie. Artists supposed to be complete. A real rock star is a person that's against the grain, not that cooperates.
Right.
So the last couple of years, it seems like because I haven't been around, it's been like cooperators are running shit. You know what I'm saying? Like people that are cooperating, not with people's model. Cooperate and we can survive. Nah, get them out of here. And because of the internet and because now, and also what I understand about Lyor is he invented the 360 deal. Like you got quotes of him justifying it. Then he gets whacked, pause, and now he's trying to be independent.
And speaking out against the...
Yeah, what is that? and when I was doing it, he was the main guy trying to get it. So he thinks we're that dumb. And I'm like, yo, So I also, again, I just think CEO beef. Let's have an articulate. Let's make hip-hop look good.
CEO beef.
When we fight, yeah, why you keep putting me with a rapper? But you know why they was putting me against a rapper? Because that's the old... They kept me the focus on a rapper, so I would not focus on them. It's an old trick.
Distraction.
What are they doing with Flex? They got me focused. They got y'all focused and everyone else on Flex. I'm talking about Joey. I'm talking about Lyor. I'm talking about Todd Moscowitz.
So you really believe they put the battery?
They definitely put. I told you, people see
in Flex's back.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Why is Joey not fighting for himself? Speaking up, not
maybe
punching.
Because he's not built for that. But you got quote unquote bosses.
Right, let me give you another instance where I'm really is where it's like venom for him.
Right.
Where I have no mercy for him. So with the Max B and Jim Jones situation, right? I'm not going to say any names, but all I know is that Joey told someone that if he can get Max B out of his deal, that there would be money for him. And then he proceeds to give this guy my number. This guy's been asking other people for my number, and I've been sending a message like, yo, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't want you to have my number.
Right.
So Joey gives him my number. So, of course, this is an aggressive guy. You know what I mean? And he starts talking to me aggressively, and it could have snowballed into something crazy.
Right.
And it almost did. But because I'm
crazy, like street shit?
Yeah, street.
Right.
Like these are real guys. Max B's in jail for murder right now. So basically, instead of sitting Jim in a room with Max B and squashing it because, you know, he had some kind of control because he had the money, he put a battery in someone's back for us to go and fight so that he can make money off the winner. And I'm sick of them doing that. You understand what I'm saying? And that is where my problem came, pause, from him.
Right.
If I wasn't who I was and level-headed, because black on black fighting is the dumbest shit in the world. It always makes us look stupid.
Isn't that shit so tired right now, 2014?
It's always been tired. We look stupid fighting each other. We look stupid fighting, especially at a certain age. When people start fighting, it's because they're not comfortable with what they know.
Right.
That's overcompensation for feeling dumb. When you start fighting, it's because you can't, your emotions get the best of you. Right. So you put your hands on, like I said, I wasn't happy I smacked Steve. I really wasn't, because that's not the example I wanted to set for everybody.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So now the next time something violent happened, I just had to pay for it. Not to say with me, but with someone else, because that's the example I led. I was disappointed in myself. But that dude was pissing me off, and he was violating certain
but
things.
Did you ever pay back the $18,000?
I smacked him. In the street, once you hit a nigga, he's paid. I was like, if I'm not going to get my 18, pop!